Hello everyone, my name is Isaac Agri from Ghana. I recently enrolled in the Democratic Development course, which was organized by Stanford University. Prior to joining this course, I had little understanding about democracy development. But after enrolling in the course, my whole perspective about democracy has been deepened. And I believe this will go a long way in deepening the cause of our democratic system in Ghana. What emerged strongly for me was how ordinary people should have a say or a voice in the decisions that affect their lives, and how rulers also should be accountable to them. I strongly believe and support the idea that people must be given the right to play an active role in political and civic life, express themselves or their will through regular and free elections. But once elections are over, parliamentarians should exercise their mandate also by taking the voice of the people forward, which means they should also embark on laws that benefit the citizens. Which means that parliamentarians' role should be based on what citizens feel. The willingness of citizens also to participate in decision making should also be allowed by parliamentarians. So I see parliamentarians playing a major role after elections, where they will take the voice of the people forward, or better still, create a space where they can work with citizens in planning, formulating and enacting policies that benefit the people. Their role as active citizens must not end after casting their ballots. They must be encouraged to continually engage in public affairs so that government can be aware of and respond to the needs of citizens. Citizens must be able to influence their representatives on a continuous basis. They should be able to communicate and organize with others on matters of common interest independently from government. In all, I believe that the pivotal object of democracy is to protect and promote the fundamental rights of individuals to achieve social justice, facilitate social and economic development within communities, strengthen the cohesion of society, and engender a congenial environment for sustainable peace. In a democratic development, as I also learned from the course, is that we need to build strong institutions. For this to happen, a continually evolving and complex set of strong institutions are needed in a country, which I believe will solve issues of transparency and accountability. When strong institutions are there, there are strong legal framework that guarantees people's rights. Strong governing institutions that are representative and accountable to the people are also instituted once strong institutions are there. Within the framework of strong institutions, there are an active citizens body or civil society. There are also strong political parties that articulate the views and aspirations of the people. An independent communications media that inform the people about public affairs. And within democratic development, we also should focus on the legislative. What I mean by legislative is that parliamentarians are most often found to be representing the people. But most often, what we see in our parliaments that they toe to their party lines, which means they don't actually represent the people as constituted, but they are often found towing party lines, which I believe stifle the independence of the views and honest debate in Parliament. What we need is a different type of legislative with its oversight powers to scrutinize the work of government by questioning ministers, inspecting documents, and cross-examining state personnel by holding them to account when the need arises. So we need a legislative that does not only toe to party lines, but are able to represent the people that voted for them to Parliament, or voted for them to represent them. Then the judiciary, where individual rights and freedoms, particularly of expression, association, and assembly, should be respected. This in turn requires an independent judiciary, which means we need an independent judiciary who can also respect the freedoms and the rights of individuals, of association, and of assembly, so that there will be peace and harmony within the system always. In a democratic development society, we need also the involvement of the media, which is very, very important. The judiciary aspect is very important, as well as the media. The existence of a free media of communication, which is the press, the broadcasting, the internet, to ensure that there is independent information about the actions of public officials, and to facilitate communication and organization among citizens in defending and promoting the interests of the people. So this is the work that we expect from the media, the responsibility of the media. I also learned in a democratic development, or in a democratic society, there should be a vibrant civil society. What I mean by vibrant society is that a civil society that can strengthen government. And in a democratic society, there should be a safe space where civil society, government can coexist and co-create. In other words, civil society should be able to empower ordinary citizens to have oversight responsibilities. I learned there are institutions, civil society institutions like Check My School, where citizens are able to track expenditure in infrastructure, schools being built in the communities, where they can report that in the budget it's being stated that specific infrastructures have been done, but in actual fact it's not. So how can civil society engage with ordinary citizens to be able to report or give feedback to the government and say, we've been able to track the budget expenditure to know that these are the things that are not there. So in actual fact, the feedback loop should be able to be closed by civil society engaging with ordinary citizens, empowering them, tracking and monitoring performance, ensuring transparency, accountability and participation, effective this actually create effective service delivery. So access to information, it's needed by civil society in order for them to make informed decisions, and once there are access to information, there is also peer-to-peer knowledge sharing among civil society groups or among ordinary citizens, where their voices can also be heard. And then the feedback or the ideas from all these engagement can be mainstream to inform decision making or policy making. Then it comes down also to the leadership and the economy. When I talk about the leadership and the economy in a democratic society, what we need in a democratic society with regards to leadership is that there should be a competent leader, one that produces and executes good economic policies and programs, including the operation of a stable currency and providing a congenial legal and regulatory regime to facilitate the operation of the relevant market forces. A leader who can ensure that resources are available to the state and are prudently allocated in accordance with well-thought through a well-defined priorities. One that must rid itself of corruption. So in a democratic society, we need a leader, a competent, not just a leader, but a competent leader who can embark on these goals or objectives. Now, coming back to the democratic development in Ghana, these are my observations. Ghana practices the majoritarian two-party system, but many a times the partisan polarization in Ghana's political climate not only degrades the substance and tone of public policy debate, but has made it nearly impossible to build a broad and enduring political consensus on a national development agenda. There are so many ills in the society which needs to be solved. And when I talk about ills in the society, I'm talking about the corruption, the bribery and corruption that has been, exposed, and people are talking about each and every day. The bureaucratic way of doing things, so the waste in the system, the fragmentation, the politicization, the limited capacity, insufficient coordination among, civil servants, and the way service delivery is not forthcoming. All these are issues that needs to be resolved in a democratic society. For us to be able to create a conducive cohesion and build a favorable environment in a democratic society, all these issues, waste, fragmentation, politicization, polarization, corruption in the system, should be able to be eradicated. Now, my organization, which is the West African Social Entrepreneurs Network, engages with citizens and civil society organizations, particularly social enterprises, in identifying their needs and diagnosing the challenges they perceive in their localities in order to inform public policy for review in Ghana. The reasons for establishing this is to push for reform with a focus on the right of citizens to public information. This has developed into a peer-to-peer support group that follows public policies, scrutinizes the use of public funds, and organizes various advocacy and educational campaigns on public policy reforms. Since 2011, it has embarked on 3 major nationwide tours with the intent to convey the views, aspirations, and proposals of marginalized communities to government. It has also set up an online deliberations, consultations, surveys, and SMS and mobile app communication, reaching out to also the citizens in marginalized communities and also to Parliament to incorporate the perspective and ideals of citizens in decision and policy making. Going forward, I will continue to promote an enabling a political and policy environment, as well as ensuring the voices of the poor are heard in policy discussions. This cause has actually motivated me and has taught me different ways of engagement. And I think this will increase and broaden the number of eyes observing, and thus will engage with stakeholders such as government and the departments, the ministries, the agencies, the oversight institutions, the Parliament of Ghana, civil society organizations, as well as beneficiaries. When I talk about beneficiaries, I mean the marginalized groups, and ensuring that the intended goal of government programs are delivered to them as timely as expected. Ordinary citizens will become more informed, responsible, and active citizens. They will find better links to connect with their local representatives and contribute to sustainable growth and peaceful societies in Ghana. Democracy, as I understand, has become a universal aspiration, even though it's not realized everywhere. So in order for us to succeed, we need a local content, the preservation and independent on popular struggles within Ghana, not something that is being or going to be imported from outside, but in within. We'll look at the structures, we'll look at what works and what does not, and going forward, we'll look at best practices, the courses, the ideas, the lessons that I've learned within the Democratic Development course to push this agenda and make the society a conducive place, environment for societies to thrive in. I would like to take this opportunity to thank the organizers of the program, most especially the Professor Larry Diamond. Thank you so much. I understood everything that you taught. I took a lot of takeaways, a lot of lessons, and I'm actually equipped to step into the mainstream within government, within civil society, within ordinary citizens, communities, to embark on this project to bring ordinary citizens closer to government, actually to decrease this distance between government and the ordinary people. I think I have the capacity now to do that, and I thank you very much. I believe this will not be the end of it. Many programs are yet to come, and I'll keep on updating our groups and the course organizers as to how I'm taking this initiative forward. I thank you, and I appreciate everything that you've done.